Morning, everyone. Welcome to the 17th installment in the 2018 Winter Webinar Training Series. Home stretch, 2 more weeks worth of classes for those of you that are hanging on. I appreciate it. So with that, let's get talking about Arborjet's Botanical line. So today we'll go over what the botanical products are, their ingredients, what they do, their efficacy, calculating cost of application, so how much a solution costs you, because the application rates are typically just spray until wet. So there's no real way to totally measure how much product you're using, so we'll calculate how much the ready-to-use solutions make, or how much they cost when you put them together. Common applications, when and how to apply, and then also we'll toss in where you can use these products. So first product, one of the older of the 3 that we still have is called Ecomite Plus. It's a second generation. We did have an original one called Ecomite. Tweaked the formula, changed the name, made it better. And now, so we have Ecomite Plus. It's highly concentrated botanical oils and extracts. It's a contact insecticide and miticide. Same-day harvest, so 0 day to harvest. Formulated not to burn in sunlight or grow lights, so you can use this during the day, even in the summertime. Or if you run greenhouses or indoor grow projects, you can use it in that as well. And as long as you're using it at the correct dilution rates, you shouldn't have to worry about any kind of phytotoxicity. It comes in multiple sizes, but the 8 fluid ounce container concentrate will make up to 3 gallons at the low rate. So the actives of the product are, it's 5% rosemary extract, 2.5% rosemary oil, 2.5% peppermint oil, 2.5% cottonseed oil. All those products are 25B, so some states don't actually make us register them, so if you're looking for registration status, you might not find it depending on what state you're in. You can always find that type of information on arborjet.com underneath the label and registration page. So again, 25B products, some states don't make us actually register them because the active ingredients are all considered excuse me, safe and food crop safe, so they don't actually make us register it as an actual insecticide or a fungicide. It's a good product to use, and you might not find it registered even though it is available in your state. Looking at the kill rate of aphids on crepe myrtle, we use crepe myrtle. They grow pretty quickly and are easy to get insects to want to go after them. So most of the time you'll see local products tested on those. They're very, like I said, they're very easy to get to. They grow quickly, and it's easy to get aphids and thrips and other typical garden pest insects on them. So we're looking at pre-treatment on the left. You can see that those leaves are ravaged and absolutely covered in aphids. And then after 1 application of Ecomite Plus on the right, that's later in the afternoon, all the aphids are either are dead and fallen off or dead and still stuck to the leaf. You can see some of the white ones down on the dark green leaves. Some of them have turned brown from their death up on the newer growth. It's very effective. It does its job very quickly, which is also why we wanted to make sure that it was same-day harvest, so food crop safe, so you could go out and actually apply this in the morning, and then go pick your tomatoes or cucumbers or whatever fruit or vegetable you were going after that afternoon, so you wouldn't have to wait to harvest that and maybe possibly allow another insect to get in there. Figuring out how much your solution's going to cost. This is going to be based off of the MAP pricing of 1 gallon of concentrate, which is $99.99. So 128 ounces in that gallon is going to be 78 cents per ounce. The high rate for Ecomite Plus is 16 ounces of concentrate per gallon of water. So you take 16 ounces, multiply it by 78 cents. So that 1 gallon solution is $12.48. And again, there's no, ounce per plant or ounce per acre. It's spray until wet. So if you're going out on turf, that's going to be much quicker than if you were applying to a crepe myrtle or a tomato, a cucumber, squash, things like that. It's typically written as spray until wet, and you want to get the top and underside of the leaf tissue. A lot of the insects like to go underneath the leaf tissue. On the bottom side, it's out of the sun. Typically, the bottom side of the leaf tissue is softer and easier to bite through. So you want to make sure you spray both the top and bottom of the leaf. Low rate for Ecomite Plus is 4 ounces per gallon. So that 1 gallon solution is $3.12 out of your pocket. And again, spray until wet. We'll go over how to apply this after all of them, because the how and when is the same for all 3 products. So that was Ecomite Plus, our insecticide miticide. Next is EcoPM, which is a fungicide. The PM doesn't stand for nighttime. It actually stands for powdery mildew. So this is a great product for powdery mildew. It also works on rust, gray mold, botrytis, black spot, a number of funguses that kind of form on the outside of the leaf and attack outside in. Again, highly concentrated botanical oils and extracts, contact fungicide to suppress spore development. So again, this is going to be for funguses that need contact fungicides, so ones that develop outside the plant and work their way outside in. It's formulated, again, not to burn in sunlight or grow lights. So again, if you're in the summertime, you can still feel good about applying this product. If you're working indoors underneath grow lights, you can feel good about applying this product. Rates on this are a bit lower. 8 fluid ounces makes up to 5 gallons. Rates are lower because the concentrations are higher. So this product is 20% thyme extract, so very concentrated, and 1% clove oil. The nice thing about that is it allows us to reduce the rates, still while maintaining efficacy. So looking at powdery mildew on pumpkins, you can see powdery mildew on the left, untreated, and then on the other side we were doing preventative treatments with EcoPM. There aren't a whole lot of curative applications to contact botanical oils. These are much more of a preventative type solution, so things that you would go out at early stages of fungal development or even before fungal development. Again, it's spray until wet, so you'd actually spray both the top and bottom of this leaf tissue. But it does a fantastic job on powdery mildew, as well as botrytis, gray mold, rust, and a number of other diseases. So cost of this one, again, it's $99.99 for a gallon, 128 ounces per gallon. So again, your per ounce cost is 78 cents of the concentrate. But the high rate on this one's a bit lower. It's only 8 ounces per gallon. So the 1 gallon solution, so 8 ounces into 120 ounces of water to make 128 ounces for a full gallon is only $6.24. So a bit lower. Again, you want to spray until wet both sides of the leaf tissue. You want to do full cover. You want to make sure it's full coverage so you're not missing anything. Low rate is still 4 ounces per gallon. So that 1 gallon solution is only going to be $3.12. Again, spray until wet. And finally, our newest product is Eco One. This is our newest product. We found it's called this one's the garden spray. We do have other formulations we're working on. It comes in a ready-to-use container, a quart concentrate, 8 ounce concentrate. So, we wanted to take our Eco Mite Plus and Eco PM one step further, and this is actually a fungicide, insecticide, and miticide all in one. So it reduces the number of products you have to carry around because it's going to take care of both insects, mites, and fungus. So this one's OMRI certified. We got that notification last week. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. So we haven't had a chance to actually get that onto the labels. That's the next label printing will have that on there, but this product is OMRI certified. It is made up of organic certified botanical oils. The other active ingredients are actually the solvents. They do aid, so we do have to report that. It is an insecticide and fungicide, and like the other two eco products, it is same-day harvest, so you can spray this in the morning and come back at lunchtime and gather your fruit or vegetables. It works on such things like spider mites, aphids, works on thrips, a number of greenhouse typical insects, as well as powdery mildew and black spot. Its active ingredients are, it's 10% linseed oil, which is also known as flaxseed oil. It is 1.34% thyme oil and 0.66% peppermint oil. So a total of 12% active ingredients. The linseed works on both. The thyme is the fungicide side of it. The peppermint oil works a lot on the mites. So multi-use product. So good for food crop. Great for food crop. Good for any other pests, small trees, shrubs, things like that. Again, but it's nice that it's an insecticide, an insect, mite, and disease control product. So you can just mix this up and cover all three sides of your control at once. So looking at some powdery mildew control on Yakima, gold hops, and Veronica. So a few things taken care of here. So on the left, we're looking at just individual leaves that we picked off from each plant. You can see that the untreated is carrying powdery mildew. The center leaf on there was actually another leaf that had powdery mildew, and we applied it. So we haven't figured out why, but there actually are some curative properties when it comes to Eco 1. You will actually reduce the powdery mildew and not just stop it. It probably has something to do with the smothering and the other active ingredients that are in there, other than the linseed oil, thyme, and peppermint. But we're still working on trying to figure out why, but right now we just like the fact that it does it. And then so the small leaf had powdery mildew that got taken away. So that was a post-infection spray. And the larger leaf on the right side of that little section, that was pre-treatment, started right from the start, so it never had powdery mildew on it. So you can see that it was able to grow to a larger size because it didn't have to fight off infection at all. On the right, you can see untreated, just absolutely decimated by powdery mildew, where the one on the right, we started as soon as the sign of infection started, and how it's very healthy looking. Powdery mildew on Hubbard and acorn squash. This actually came from one of our tech managers. He grows some very, very large Hubbard squash out at his house. So he did a treated with Eco 1 starting very early. That's the August 14th results. Treated with Eco 1 in September. And you can see there's a little bit development because he waited another 3 to 4 weeks, but it's still under control. And then the untreated check on October 7th is absolutely covered. The other thing he pointed out to us, I'm not much of a gardener, so I didn't quite understand this, but Apparently with squash, the stalks that connect the squashes together and that the leaves grow off of typically turn brown and die when the squashes are getting ready to harvest. These actually stayed on the two left plants, the ones that he kept treated, stayed green and allowed his squashes to get even bigger than he normally does. And they're pretty large. They're like 12 to 15 pound squashes. He brought one in and it took up my desk. Looking at some graphs on insect control and spider mite control. The graph on the left looking at mortality in two-spotted spider mite. We're looking at percent mortality as the y-axis, and you can see that we're looking at 90% control, 90% death, and that's pretty extremely good for a botanical organic product. Usually you're looking at 65, 75% and feeling good about control there. With Eco-1, you're looking closer to 90%. And then on the right-hand graph, we're looking at number of live aphids left on a crepe myrtle after 2 treatments. And so it's the number of live aphids per square centimeter. So the Eco-1 treated crepe myrtles, you're looking at maybe 1 per square centimeter versus 16, 17 on the untreated. So you can live with, or a plant can live with having only 1 aphid on it, but you get up to 17, 18, you're looking at some pretty bad damage. So calculating the price for Eco-1, it's still currently only available in a quart concentrate as its largest size. The quart concentrate is $39.99, so that's 80 cents per ounce. Well, when you look at it being a multi-use product, so instead of mixing Eco-PM and Eco-Mite Plus together, which would be about $1.56, this is almost half that at just 80 cents. The high rate is 24 ounces per gallon of Eco-1. That's only for a couple pests like a potato bug. Most of the time, you're looking at about a 12-ounce rate at the highest for all the other insects. So again, if you have potato bugs, you're looking at almost $20 per gallon of solution. You want to spray that until wet. But again, that's only on a couple pests. Typically, the low rate is 4 ounces, so you're looking at $3.20 for a gallon of Eco-1 solution. But again, the outside of those 2 insects, you're looking at a high rate of more closer to 12 ounces, so about $10 a gallon to make that. But again, it's just one product to take care of those insects and the diseases instead of combining products and being closer to $15 for each product. So how and when to apply? This applies for all 3 products because they're all the same base. They're the botanical oils. They're all preventative treatments. So you want to make sure your applications start when conditions favor insect or disease development, or at the latest at the first signs of the infestation or infection. You want to thoroughly cover both the upper and lower leaf surfaces until wet, so basically until they start to drip. As a contact, it is something that you should have repeat applications, 7 to 14 day intervals until the problem is gone. So, for your insects and diseases, it might be from, the start of when the spores typically develop to the end of kind of the humid spring season when things start getting drier. So once you get into summer, you should be able to stop unless it's a humid summer, and then you might want to think about going out and doing, a low rate preventative application every 14 days or so. The one caveat to the 7 to 14 day interval is if you're using Eco-Mite Plus on the mites. Mites, especially in a heavy infestation, can require a much more frequent application. You're actually going to need to make 4 applications within that first week to make sure you get the mite under control because of their reproduction stage. So you'd want to make your initial application on day 1, a following application the next day, 3 days later, so day 5 of that week, you want to make another application, and then 2 more days after that. So, mites can develop very quickly. If they're in the eggs when they hatch, they actually will hatch outside of the oil, so which is why you need to make multiple applications in that first week. After that, you can move back to the 7 to 14-day interval. This can be used on food crop. The EPA actually allows me to say food crop safe for the eco products. So again, you can apply those more in the morning and then come back at lunchtime and pick your fruit or vegetables. So that was how and when to apply and where to apply. You can use this stuff on just about on all the plants. Small trees, I only say small trees because how accurate is a JD9 backpack sprayer going to be when you're trying to shoot to the top of a 30-foot tree? So small trees, shrubs, flowers, fruits, vegetables, turf. Again, it's food crop safe, so you can use this on your in your garden, in your customers' gardens, on your orchards, and take care of those insects while being able to go out and harvest later that day. Just standard process. You should just wash it off at the end. With that covers the eco products. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to start typing them in. Kevin's asking, can you use these products along with injections? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so you could do same-day application of this because one's a systemic, which is your injection, and these are contacts. They're not really going to come into contact with each other. The one reason that you really wouldn't is that if you're going to be injecting the tree, you're more than likely injecting a tree that's a bit too tall for spraying. If you have bucket sprayers and equipment that can handle spraying tall trees, and you want to do this on the outside and then inject for the inside, absolutely, go right ahead. If you're injecting, that means that you'd have to follow that injection for harvesting if you're working on food crop, though. All right, I know we're coming up on that 30-minute mark, and it's getting close to, real viable work season for any of you. Up here in New England, we're preparing for yet another nor'easter. That'll be 3 in about 2 weeks. So hopefully your weather's better than ours. Enjoy it. We will see you later this week on Wednesday, where I believe I'm going back to equipment to do kind of a rerun through on equipment maintenance and a little bit more in depth. So with that, thanks for coming today. Quiz and slides should be up, so have at it, and see you on Wednesday or Thursday. Bye, everyone.